As 2024 comes to a close, it's impossible not to look back and see how packed the year has been with game releases. There were highly anticipated titles that ended up disappointing, while others exceeded all expectations and won a place in the hearts of gamers. But amidst this avalanche of big launches, several epic games stayed in the shadows of the giants, going unnoticed by many despite being incredible experiences. With that in mind, we've put together a list of 2024 games that truly deserve to be played. The list features everything from highly anticipated titles that mark the year to games that surprise with their quality and innovation. Whether you're a fan of action, RPGs, horror, or adventure, here you'll find something worth your time. I'm Jax, and if you're new here, welcome to the Play Hunters channel, where I bring daily content so you won't miss a thing from the world of games. And if you could subscribe to help me grow, I'd really appreciate it. From one gamer to another. Kicking off the list, we have the year's big release, Black Myth: Wukong, an epic masterpiece that blends intense action with a fascinating reimagining of Chinese mythology. With breathtaking settings and graphics that capture every detail of the Monkey King legend, the game impresses at every turn. The atmosphere is immersive, and the combat is intense, keeping players hooked with a plot that explores mystical creatures and mysteries in a cinematic fashion. The gameplay is one of the highlights. The combat is dynamic, requiring precision and strategy, with a skill system that turns each battle into a choreographed action gameplay. For those who love challenging games, this mechanic is a treat, as the responsive controls make each movement agile. Facing powerful enemies and dodging attacks with precision adds that adrenaline rush action fans seek. In every scenario, there's a sense of discovery. With a detailed design, the game world feels like a living piece of art, full of surprises and stunning landscapes that invite exploration. The storyline immerses the player in a journey full of epic and unexpected moments, keeping curiosity high with each chapter and encouraging further exploration. Next, we have Final Fantasy VII, one of the most awaited RPG chapters. This release transports players into a vibrant, detailed recreation of the classic, with spectacular graphics and characters that captivate with their depth. The narrative, filled with twists and emotional moments, bridges nostalgia and discovery, maintaining the interest of both longtime fans and new players, especially in a Midgar world that has never felt more alive. The combat system blends intense action with sharp strategy, challenging players to think and react quickly. Every battle requires coordination and quick thinking, with special abilities and fluid movements that ensure an exciting pace. For those who enjoy games where every fight leaves a mark, this system is a true celebration of RPGs, involving players in memorable boss battles and powerful monsters. The setting is a show in itself, bringing unique locations and environments that fully immerse the player. Cities, landscapes, and meticulous details in every corner make it hard not to explore as much as possible. Each new place and character reveals a fascinating piece of this universe, sparking curiosity and leaving players with a desire to go beyond and uncover the next mystery. In third place, Space Marine 2 opens the doors to a brutal and dark universe, where war is constant and merciless. With impressive graphics and vast settings, the game throws players into the heart of an epic battle against grotesque hordes of enemies. This sequel enhances everything fans love, bringing intense combat and an atmosphere that mixes frenetic action with a cinematic-like feel, making it one of the best games of 2024. The combat system is direct and brutal, challenging the player with each step. From relentless hand-to-hand attacks to a heavy arsenal, the action stays fast-paced, requiring quick reflexes and strategy to face the relentless hordes coming from all sides. The fluid movement and precise controls raise the adrenaline in each confrontation, making every victory feel like a real achievement. With devastated, detail-rich environments that highlight the desolation of the battlefield, The setting amplifies the tension and reinforces the dark war atmosphere. The enemies are fierce, and each area explored brings a new challenge, creating an atmosphere where danger is ever present. In fourth place, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is an eagerly awaited expansion of the 2022 success, deepening the dark and enigmatic universe of From Software. As DLC, this new adventure introduces unexplored areas and an even more mysterious atmosphere, where every step reveals ancient secrets and grandiose settings. The sense of exploration is intense, with locations that challenge and surprise, always leaving a sense of suspense about what may be hidden just ahead. The combat retains the series' characteristic style, demanding precision and patience to face formidable enemies that test the player's skills. New options for abilities and combat styles add variety to the confrontations, turning every victory into a memorable achievement. This balance between challenge and reward makes each battle a defining moment, amplifying the feeling of overcoming obstacles. The environments are richly detailed, from dense forests to forgotten ruins, reinforcing the sense of decay and mystery that permeates the game's universe. Every environment seems to tell its own story, drawing players to explore every corner in search of secrets and surprises. This immersive atmosphere, combined with unique visual elements, makes the DLC an essential expansion for those looking to dive even deeper into the epic Elden Ring saga. In fifth place, Nine Souls surprises by combining an aesthetic inspired by ancient Asian cultures with an engaging sci-fi narrative. The game takes players on an intense journey through a cyberpunk futuristic world where mystical traditions intertwine with advanced technologies. Every environment feels like it's taken straight from a painting, with vibrant colors and richly detailed settings that capture the essence of a completely new and captivating universe. The action is marked by quick and precise combat, requiring reflexes and strategies that go beyond simple hack-and-slash mechanics. With skills that can be upgraded and varied fighting styles, the player must master the mechanics to defeat powerful enemies in battles that challenge with each blow. The combat demands constant attention, and every victory brings a unique sense of evolution and triumph, especially for those who appreciate skill-demanding games. Exploring this world feels like opening an ancient scroll. There's always something intriguing lurking, whether it's a new technology or a mystery tied to the past. The settings, from ancient temples to gleaming cities, create a contrast that makes the journey unforgettable. This balance between tradition and modernity gives the game a distinctive identity, capturing the player's attention and leaving them wanting to explore every corner. In sixth place, Indika offers an introspective and dark narrative set in 19th century Russia. With impeccable art direction, the game portrays melancholic landscapes and forgotten villages, creating an atmosphere that reflects the contradictions of an era undergoing change. The journey is marked by emotional depth, leading the player to explore themes such as faith, sacrifice, and the search for meaning in a desolate world. The gameplay combines exploration and choices that directly affect the progression of the story. Every decision leads to unique paths, and the player faces moral dilemmas that can alter the fate of characters and the locations they encounter. This deep involvement in the plot gives a sense of protagonism, and the narrative becomes even more impactful when the consequences of choices arise unexpectedly. The visual style impresses with its rich details, enhancing the somber and decaying environment of the time. The settings, from imposing cathedrals to dark forests, carry symbolism that amplifies the oppressive atmosphere of the story. With each scene, the game pulls the player into this dense and dark universe, provoking reflections on themes such as faith, survival, and the impact of personal decisions. In seventh place, Silent Hill 2 Remake revives the classic psychological horror with next-gen graphics that take the suspenseful atmosphere to a whole new level. The fog-covered city gains realistic textures and lighting effects that intensify the dark mood, making every detail contribute to the psychological terror. Along with a faithful recreation of the original environment, the sound design has been enhanced, enveloping the player in constant tension, where even silence seems threatening. The gameplay improvements are evident. The controls are more precise and intuitive, making movement and exploration smoother while maintaining the essence of the original game. The update to the combat mechanics and puzzles adds a new layer of complexity, making the gameplay even more immersive and accessible to new players. This balance between nostalgia and innovation puts the player in a familiar setting but with a renewed experience, bringing surprises even for those who know the game inside out. Every environment has been remodeled to amplify the feeling of isolation and fear, with deserted streets and buildings that seem alive due to the intricate details. The cool color palette and dense fog create a claustrophobic atmosphere that captures the essence of Silent Hill in a more terrifying version. Revisiting this world becomes an intense experience, a must-play for fans of the genre. In 8th place, Hellblade 2 returns with a visceral narrative and a dark atmosphere that explores the human psyche in depth. The game immerses the player in the hallucinations and torments of the protagonist, creating a nearly hypnotic immersion. Every scene is meticulously crafted to convey tension and despair, with cutting-edge graphics highlighting facial details and emotional expressions, providing an intensity that is hard to ignore. The enhanced gameplay offers combat that combines strategy and agility, requiring a tactical approach to face unpredictable enemies. The animations flow naturally, making each movement realistic and impactful, while the binaural soundtrack intensifies the feeling of being by the protagonist's side. This immersive sound effect ties uniquely to the game's theme, enhancing the depth of the hallucinations and the character's vulnerability. The setting is cold and mysterious, with landscapes ranging from icy mountains to deep caves, reinforcing the sense of desolation and mystery. The environments reflect the protagonist's mental state, creating a bond between the narrative and the world around. Everything in the game seems designed to immerse the player in the internal and external conflicts of Senua, making every moment intense and memorable. In 9th place, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown brings back the agility and style that made the series famous, with a modern twist and renewed visuals. In this new title, the player embarks on an adventure full of action and acrobatics, set in environments that mix mystical architecture and ancient ruins, crafted with attention to every detail. The story follows a captivating plot full of twists, keeping the pace fast and maintaining the mysterious atmosphere in each location visited. The combat and platform mechanics have been reinvented to make them more dynamic, with fluid movements that allow for acrobatics and strategic attacks. The parkour system has been perfected, offering more precision when climbing walls and avoiding traps. Additionally, the special abilities add an extra layer of creativity to the fights, enabling combinations of blows that require skill and perfect timing to overcome challenges. The settings impress with their mix of classic and modern elements, conveying the feeling of an ancient yet mystical kingdom. Each environment reveals new secrets and challenges, encouraging exploration and rewarding the player with items and abilities that make the journey even more exciting. The magical atmosphere and enhanced gameplay make this return an essential addition for fans of the series and anyone who enjoys action-adventure games. In 10th place, Pacific Drive takes the player on a unique adventure through the desolate roads of a mysterious exclusion zone. Behind the wheel of an old car, you must explore a surreal landscape full of dangers, where supernatural phenomena and unknown forces challenge survival. Every trip is unpredictable, creating a suspenseful atmosphere where every turn could hide a new threat or discovery. The game's mechanics revolve around maintaining and customizing the vehicle, which is both an essential tool and an indispensable companion. The player must search for resources, repair damage, and upgrade the car to face storms, anomalies, and other threats along the way. This dynamic focuses on preparation and strategy, and every return to base offers the opportunity to improve the car and plan the next journey. The setting is breathtaking, blending natural landscapes with elements distorted by inexplicable forces, creating a world that feels alive and dangerous. The sense of constantly being in motion and exposed to unpredictable phenomena brings a constant feeling of tension, while the visual and sound effects reinforce the mystery of the place. This combination turns every trip into an intense and surprising journey. In 11th place, Enshrouded transports the player to a post-apocalyptic fantasy world filled with ancient ruins and mysterious creatures. The dark and dense atmosphere creates a sense of desolation and discovery as the protagonist explores forgotten territories, uncovering secrets and facing challenges. Each area feels guarded by a supernatural force, making exploration a cautious and intriguing task. The game combines RPG and survival elements, with mechanics involving crafting and equipment customization. The player needs to gather resources, craft weapons, and prepare to face powerful creatures and hostile environments. This aspect of creation and survival provides strategic freedom, allowing players to choose how to improve their chances in each confrontation and adapt to the harsh surroundings. This ever-changing world challenges the player to explore and conquer each part of this dangerous territory, reinforcing the sense of journey and survival in a hostile universe. In 12th place, Stellar Blade offers a sci-fi adventure that blends action with an emotional narrative in a dystopian future. The game transports the player to a devastated planet where humanity faces threats of unknown origin. With realistic graphics and eye-catching environments, each area showcases ruined urban landscapes and futuristic facilities, creating a contrast between beauty and decay that sets the tone for the story. The combat is frantic and highly stylized, with precise movements requiring a good mix of attack and defense. The protagonist has a variety of close combat and technological weapon abilities that can be upgraded, allowing for different approaches in battles. The dynamic nature of the confrontations challenges the player to master techniques and adapt to the fast-paced rhythm of the fights, making each combat encounter engaging. The explorable areas are filled with details that tell the story of a collapsing world, with futuristic structures corroded by time and war. This environment creates an immersive atmosphere, compelling the player to seek answers about the events that destroyed the planet. Progressing through the map reveals clues and surprises that deepen the mystery, giving each discovery a special importance in the somber and challenging narrative context. In 13th place, Still Wakes the Deep takes the player to an oil platform isolated in the middle of the ocean, transforming the setting into a true horror and suspense scenario. The story unfolds on a platform surrounded by violent storms, where something inexplicable begins haunting the workers. The game builds a suffocating atmosphere, with ambient sounds and visual effects bringing the fear of the unknown to the forefront in the absolute isolation of the setting. The gameplay focuses on survival and exploration, requiring the player to use ingenuity and courage to escape the threats lurking on the platform. Without weapons, each confrontation becomes a game of cat and mouse, where the only option is to flee or hide. This mechanic increases tension, making every step and sound seem important, demanding attention and strategy to progress. The platform setting, with narrow corridors and rooms filled with machinery, intensifies the claustrophobic feeling and amplifies the imminent danger. Every visual and sound detail has been designed to provoke suspense, turning the location into a true labyrinth of terror. This unique atmosphere brings a sense of urgency, as if time is always against the player, in an environment where danger lurks at every moment. Continuing, Dragon's Dogma 2 returns with a vast fantasy world filled with mystical creatures and epic landscapes to explore. This action RPG places the player in a dynamic universe, where each setting brings new possibilities and challenges that adapt to choices and combat style. The sense of adventure and freedom permeates every area, making each discovered region feel like part of a grand and living fantasy tapestry. The combat system is one of the standout features, allowing the player to face massive monsters and fight alongside customizable companions. The dynamic of the battles requires strategy and precision, and the variety of classes lets each player explore distinct abilities, creating a unique approach to each encounter. The creatures exhibit realistic behaviors and present a real danger, requiring constant adaptation to different situations. The landscapes and cities are vast and rich in detail, with each location transmitting a different atmosphere, from enchanted forests to imposing castles and deep caves. This combination of settings, creatures, and narrative transforms the game into a vibrant and unforgettable fantasy experience. In 15th place, Banishers Ghosts of New Eden plunges the player into a dark world where ghost hunters confront supernatural entities in a setting marked by mystery. The narrative brings a story of vengeance and redemption, where every decision influences the fate of characters haunted by their past. The environment blends beauty and darkness, with details that create a constant sense of tension and uncertainty. The gameplay balances combat and exploration, with unique abilities that allow the player to confront or exorcise the enemies that arise. This combat system is enhanced by special powers that vary based on the abilities acquired throughout the journey. Each encounter requires a strategic approach, as the confrontations involve both brute force and the intelligent use of resources, adding a layer of challenge and depth to the adventure. The environments, ranging from dark forests to abandoned villages, reinforce the supernatural aspect of the plot and intensify the suspenseful atmosphere. The areas explored tell their own stories, each filled with visual elements that deepen the immersion, while the player uncovers the mysteries left behind by the spirits still inhabiting this universe. In 16th place, Tekken 8 brings the classic fighting franchise to the new generation, with updated graphics and incredible dynamism in the battles. The new edition keeps the established style, but with stunning visual quality and animations that give a unique fluidity to the movements. Each combat arena is a masterpiece, with effects and details that enhance the intensity of the fights. The fighting mechanics have been refined, offering more precise combos and gameplay that demands quick reflexes and a well-defined strategy for each character. The fighting styles are diverse, allowing players to explore unique techniques, pushing each fighter's skills to the limit. The precision in commands increases the competitiveness, resulting in thrilling battles that constantly test your ability. The vibrant and lively stages complete the experience, bringing arenas that react to the action and heighten the intensity of the confrontations. The lighting effects and special animations during attacks create a visual spectacle, making each strike feel even more impactful. It's truly a celebration for fighting game fans, solidifying this game as a landmark in the franchise. In 17th place, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom takes the iconic series to new heights, with a journey blending tradition and innovation. This new chapter introduces a vast open world filled with mysteries and unexplored areas, where every region is unique and full of surprises. The carefully crafted visuals and detailed animations bring the kingdom to life, immersing players in majestic landscapes and settings that pay homage to the series' legacy. The exploration mechanics have been expanded, allowing players to interact with the environment in more dynamic and creative ways. New items and abilities open up strategic possibilities, encouraging players to solve puzzles and challenges with various approaches. The freedom to choose your path makes every discovery feel special, offering a sense of discovery and reward as new areas are unlocked. The story delves deeper into ancient legends and secrets of the kingdom, unveiling new aspects about familiar characters and locations. The narrative connects the past and present in an engaging way, with encounters with surprising allies and enemies adding weight to the journey. The plot intertwines with exploration, creating an adventure where each step reveals a new detail in the rich universe of the series. In 18th place, Helldivers 2 brings intense cooperative action, where players face waves of aliens in high-risk missions. The setting is a hostile, dangerous planet, requiring teamwork and well-defined strategies to survive. With detailed graphics and striking visual effects, the alien environment pulses with threats, placing the player in a constant state of tension as they move through the missions. Gameplay centers on cooperation, with each player taking on a specific role, coordinating attacks, protecting teammates, and managing resources. The arsenal is varied, allowing for strategic adaptations depending on the type of enemy and mission challenges. This tactical dynamic requires communication and careful planning, providing a level of challenge that can only be overcome through teamwork. The action is relentless from start to finish, with intense combat where aliens attack in overwhelming waves, offering no respite. Each mission tests the group's reflexes and coordination, as enemies appear from all directions, creating a fast-paced rhythm with no breaks. This level of intensity makes every battle feel like a race against time, where survival depends on the speed and precision of the players. In 19th place, Rise of the Ronin transports players to Japan during the Bakumatsu period, where samurai and warriors fight in a time of change and conflict. The historical setting is rich with detail, featuring traditional villages and port cities that reflected Japan in the midst of transformation. The carefully crafted visuals enhance the contrast between ancient traditions and the arrival of new Western influences, offering a complete immersion in this significant era. The gameplay focuses on sword fighting and traditional weaponry, blending combat techniques that emphasize both direct offense and defensive precision. The battles are strategic and brutal, requiring calculated moves to defeat each opponent in intense duels. The ability to use different combat styles, adapting to the type of enemy and situation, adds depth that challenges both skill and patience. The intensity of the action makes each fight electrifying, with fluid animations that give weight to every strike. The combat occurs at a fast pace, and the need to respond quickly to attacks and blocks creates a tension that persists from start to finish. The atmosphere of war and honor, combined with the historical backdrop, makes the adventure memorable for those seeking a unique experience in the action-adventure genre. Next up, we have Metaphor ReFantazio, which takes players to a unique fantasy universe, where mystical realms and breathtaking landscapes come to life. Every scenario is full of detail and symbolism, featuring imposing castles, enchanted forests, and lands that feel like they came straight out of a dream. This fantastical atmosphere fills the journey with magic and mystery, inviting players to explore every corner of this one-of-a-kind world. The combat mechanics combine classic RPG elements with strategic choices, where each character has unique abilities that require planning and adaptation. The ability to create different team setups and use special attacks or powerful magic turns every battle into a stimulating challenge. The variety of fighting styles and abilities for each character gives the player the freedom to build a balanced and effective team. In addition to the combat, the narrative shines by exploring themes of identity and destiny, where every decision impacts the story. Enigmatic characters and complex stories enrich the plot, making every interaction reveal a new piece of the overall narrative. This deep dive into universal questions, combined with a world full of magic, transforms the adventure into a true odyssey for fans of the genre. And now, I'd love to hear if you've had a chance to play any of these titles and what you thought of them. Which ones caught your attention the most, and you'd give a chance? Also, if you feel like I missed any game that belongs on the list, share it in the comments. Your opinion matters, so don't hesitate to leave your recommendation. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with the latest game releases and news. Let's go on this gaming journey together. I'm leaving the latest list of games here on the card. Check it out. I'm sure you'll find a game worth playing. Big hug, and see you tomorrow.